This is OG Rev, Reverend Harry Lewis Williams II, hollering at you live from East Oakland, California. And I'm here with my sister, Terry Ludden, my longtime friend of 18 years. And she has had a loss. I'm going to ask her just a couple of questions. First, she's had a loss in her life, and I want her to explain to you what happened.
I lost my baby son, September the 22nd, 2021. He was in LA County Jail on his way to state prison, and I got a call from homicide detectives on the 23rd saying that they were sorry to inform me that they found my son non-responsive in his cell the night before at the last count. I threw the phone because I couldn't talk anymore. My older son came over and called them back, and they said that they had found paraphernalia in his cell. And I asked what kind of paraphernalia, and they told me some spiced weed. But they didn't think that that killed my son and that there was no foul play involved. So I didn't hear anything else from them. I called back. I kept calling every week, but I was getting on their nerves because they told me they were doing an investigation. And so the third week, the officer told me it'll be 8 months before he concludes his investigation. So to me, that was saying don't call me back before 8 months. So I started concentrating on the funeral services. I asked the funeral home. I couldn't look at my son's body. When my oldest daughter and son went down to ID the body was never took out of the body bag. All they seen was my son's face. He was floating in blood in the body bag. So we have never seen an actual body to date. The 12th, when we had the service, the funeral home put gloves on his hands, which was not part of his attire, that I took down for them when they dressed him. When I asked if my oldest son could come down to ID the body before the services, I was told no. Okay, so we're at, I don't know, we had no insurance to bury my son, so we had to scrape together the money for cremation. That's how we were going until about a week before the service. God woke me up in the middle of the night at 3 o'clock in the morning and said, you can't burn the evidence. And I just started talking. What do you mean I can't burn the evidence? Because at that time, I had no idea that the LA sheriffs had beat my son to death. Okay, he was in a one-man cell, solitary confinement, locked down 23 hours a day, where he could have no contact with any other inmates. Now they're saying that he's a fentanyl and heroin OD. Okay. And my question is, I don't know what was in his system. I wasn't there. I can't say what was in his system. But I can say this, well, you need to find the sheriff that gave him the narcotics because he couldn't go to the corner top and lock himself back up. Okay? If my son had drugs in him, one of the Alameda County sheriffs, one of the LA County sheriffs, the 3,000 boys, that's a gang within the sheriff's department. And if you go to Google and you go to YouTube and you put in 3,000 boys, it will take you straight to the LA sheriffs. Okay, they're one of 16 gangs that's in the sheriff's department. But the 3,000 boys, they work on the 3,000 floor, and that's where my son was killed at, on the 3,000 floor. So I have photos to prove what I'm saying. I have photos to prove that my son was beat to death, literally beat to death. My son was a 260-pound man. It took at least 3 or 4 sheriffs to beat my son to death. To death, okay? And his whole arm is pulled out of the socket on the left side. Not just I thought his hand was just broke or his arm was broke, but the whole arm is pulled out of the socket from the top of his shoulder. The whole left side is 3 times as big as the right side. They're saying there was no blunt trauma to the body, but their pictures that come out of their office does not coincide with the report the coroner wrote. So there's a problem there. I'm not going to get any justice from the state level, from California. Maxine Waters knows what's going on down there. Governor Newsom knows what's going on down there. The AG knows what's going on down there. It didn't just start. This has been going on for decades, okay? So I know I'm not going to get any justice for my son's death at the state level. So I'm on my way to D.C., along with other mothers that have lost their children due to law enforcement. We have a voice. If we stick together, our voice will be heard. I can't do it by myself. We have to unite. It's going to take a village of us mothers to do it. But if we stand in solitary and we fighting for the same cause, our voice will be heard.
Sister Terry, tell people how they can contact you, your email. Tell them how you can get contacted.
I can be contacted through Jelani. No, Justice 4, the number 4, Jelani, Jalani, on yahoo.com. Any mother that has lost their children due to law enforcement, please contact me. Please stand with me. I'm not just standing here for Jelani. I'm standing here for my great-grandchildren, for your great-grandchildren. I can't bring Jelani back, but I can make a change to stop law enforcement with your help from brutally beating our children.
Thank you so much, my sister. Community, you heard the words of this mother. I don't have to say another word. Peace.